Thanks for joining me. We're going to start where we did last time at these Niagara Parks Incline Railway. This is pretty cool. You can imagine the view that you have inside there. But I thought we'd come out and do an evening stream because we haven't done that yet this year. And the weather is fantastic. That other car will be coming down in a minute, but they hold quite a few people. Last time we did a stream was the first time I'd been on that. View's spectacular. So thanks for being here. Margaret Seeger, I see you coming in. My love, Kristen Walton is in the house. Scratching PPA, of course. Yeah, happy end to our election day for sure. Yeah, if I saw that right, they turned the lights off inside there too in the other car as they went up, I guess to make the view that much more vibrant. My favorite word, of course. What does it cost? $3.75 to take this thing? Yeah. $3.75. Lived here almost 9 years. Almost surprising that I hadn't been on this yet. The weather was saying it was going to be like 21. Even in my truck it said it was 21 outside. I don't think so though. It feels a lot more like 15 or 16 right now, or maybe even a little cooler. Thank you for sharing, my love. And Jaden, happy birthday. I don't know if Jaden heard us yesterday. Pete made sure that I remembered your birthday. So I hope everybody will wish him a happy birthday. But thank you again, Pete, for that. Thank you. The other side from where we did last time. Yes, thank you, Kristen.
It grows once you start learning. It's up to you. What? Alex, I have yours. That one's for Alice. Yeah, I have yours as well.
Not the wind, so the mist is flying straight in the air tonight.
Alice for ticket. She had no ticket. All the way up to do business.
Thank you, that's okay. View is something else. Can't see much for the trees, but you get an idea. How are you? Go up the street here. Random gas can just sitting there. Somebody must have forgot that today. Yeah, we haven't been to the casino in a while. I love visiting casinos. Even without gambling and all that. Fascinated by them. Yeah, maybe. be a lot busier around here in a few weeks. I used to go to Grandma all the time for dinner. That's a place I used to go a million times and hardly ever play. On the channel here, there's a couple of live streams from a bar called the Village Inn. It's a big place. I played there as a DJ for like 14 years and did a couple of special events over the last couple of years. And after the bar on Saturday nights, very often we used to take off and go to the casino.
Are you sure?
Well, puppy's not happy, I guess. Why do we have a no walk situation going on? I'll do like they do. Still not used to the idea that you have to press the buttons on these things if you want to cross. There's Falls View Casino right there. I don't know the truth about Dragonfly yet. First I heard it was closing, but then I heard it was they're renovating or something. I think it's been there 20 years. Skyline Tower looks nice at night. We just caught the end of the sunset there, so almost a perfect night view. I don't know if it gets any more hopping though for a Monday night. We'll see when we get over to Clifton Hill what's going on over there. This is like what I was telling Kristen, the last nightclub that I ran was a big place, and they had a huge hole in the floor. It's almost like to make a mezzanine to the lower floor, and we filled it in. And I wanted so badly to put a disco floor in there, like from the 70s, those ones with the squares that light up, maybe more modern, but you know what I mean. And I couldn't convince them to do it. So probably a fortune. I don't know how much they cost. So they said, here's $1,000. Do what you can with that. So I went and got a bunch of spotlights that you see in stages and things like that, and just put them in the floor, just like those lights we just looked at. And it was cool because people, I was afraid, might avoid standing on them, but they didn't. They ran right to them. And I was like, that's cool, because I figured people will come and take pictures. Eddie Lugo Studios, good to see you here. In Canadian Family Life, thanks for coming in. Taking the same route that I took in the last stream, but figured we will get a nighttime view for the first time this year. See the elevator at the bottom of the tower there? It's on the outside, not like the CN Tower in Toronto where it's inside, encased in glass. I don't remember who noticed that at first, but I mention it all the time now. We're going to be going over there where that wheel is and the other casino. My link's breaking there. Looking at the screen, it looks like the link is messed up. I don't know if that's just on my stream view. Yeah, looks like it's not quite right. I try to remember to fix these things. Not that it matters, I don't put much on TikTok right now. It is a perfect day for no wind. The other day it was so windy, I know it was hard to hear. I didn't catch what Kristen said in the chat, but she was like, oh, it's hard to listen when the wind is so bad. But days like this, it's like a gift. I'm going the wrong way here. There's the Skyline Tower, it's where you enter and go in. Doesn't take very long for that elevator to get all the way to the top. Funny too, because it just disappears up inside there. Just let these cars go and then I'll walk across. Kristen and I, first time we went to Skyline Tower was for New Year's. And coming out of the parking lot, we sat in the back of the truck and watched a movie. Said there's no getting out of there. Yeah, it's an election day for many of us, right? Eddie Lugo Studios is cheering us on, I know that. Yeah, I think I just saw a clip before I left, Kevin O'Leary talking about it, saying apparently there was the biggest turnout in history in the 905 area code, which is the outskirts of Toronto. So we talk about phone numbers. When I was a kid, they just had 416, and then they opened up another area code, 905, and that was kind of like a horseshoe all the way around the city. And he says that that's the deciding factor, very much like Florida to the United States. So who knows? We'll see. But I also said in the clip it won't be done until 3 in the morning. I don't know what time zone that is, but far past my bedtime. I'm not going to worry about it. We'll just wake up and see what happened. I got fanatics on both sides of the spectrum that will flood Facebook and every other thing with opinions. Just Jason Keto, good to see you in the house. I used the pen as well. When we got there, they had people for sure were complaining before, because a friend of mine made a video. Well, you got most of you know Jeff made a video about using a pen. He showed himself filling in the ballot. Everybody knows which way he's gonna vote anyway, but he pointed out the pencil thing. Now, when I got there today, there was a pencil and a pen behind my voting screen. And who knows, maybe they were there the whole time and people were just pushing the pens out of the way to take their pictures and videos. But either way, I brought my own and left it there, so now they have an extra. Then I stole one of Kristen's pens, I think, off the counter today when we got back into the apartment. Hilda DC, good to see you in the house. And have Cheetah Will View, good to see you in the house. Yeah, 51st state, imagine. I'm not expecting God to do me any favors in this election. I wasted my wishes on the United States. Can't imagine it's going to have the littlest effect on Bitcoin either. Curious to know what the Toronto Stock Exchange is going to do tomorrow, though, based on the results. That'll be an interesting tell. Oh, just in case Jaden's still watching, by the way, happy birthday, Jaden. I think everybody here knows him. He's been a friend of ours for all these years. There was a possibility of meeting up with Paralife TV again. I met up with him last summer. He was here. He's in Toronto right now. Well, that's about an hour and a half away from here. But he said his family's got quite a action-packed schedule going on. So Hooters is doing just fine. Pretty busy in there. Yeah, it really is a beautiful night, Patrick. It is apparently, I don't know, the thermometer in the truck said it was 21 degrees, which works out to 74, I think. But I'm convinced that it's much cooler than that. More like 16, 17, and that would put it somewhere in the 60s. Lisa J. Stocks, good to see you here. You know what I was just saying, Lisa? So we have our election, our federal election right now. And my guess is it's not going to affect the S&P 500, the Dow, like, you know, the New York Stock Exchange at all. But Toronto, maybe. Won't affect Bitcoin, I'm sure. Canada's only 4% of the population of the United States, right? Or sorry, 10%. 10% of the population. I think it only makes up 4% of the world market in some things, like maybe music and movies and stuff. I could be very wrong about that. I don't remember how many decades ago I heard that stat, but when I first moved here, I used to confuse the touristy area with downtown. I used to call it downtown all the time, but it's not. Downtown is a different thing. Streamed there at least a couple of times. Pardon me. Thank you. Yeah. hear the go-karts from around the corner here. Niagara Falls is absolutely beautiful. I like living here too. Hopefully I haven't missed anybody in the chat, but thank you everybody for being here. I wanted to come and have a look. It's like the most gorgeous day of the year so far, actually. But I thought we'd come and see what it's like at night now. You can see all the gift shops and restaurants and everything. They go a little bit farther down that street, past this traffic light, another light or two. And then this street kind of extends in a roundabout sort of way all the way through the city. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. More attractions down here. We've been down there many times. I'll just walk around the little block here, or whatever we want to call it. Like those adventures, good to see you in the house. Wonder how many interviews Have Cheetah Will View is up to now. I still managed to get in there once in a while. I've been on his channel. I was thinking it was twice, but I think it's 3 times. It could be 4. I was forgetting about the one where I joined you with Brian John. But he's still at those interviews. He's got a blog as well. He was doing even before YouTube, and had done, I forget how many interviews, at least 100 before starting YouTube. A bit busier around here now. Closing in on 600, but still no Pete. I kind of figured selfishly, if anybody ever does manage to get that done, it'll probably be me. I'd like to think so, but he's got a lot of friends still after all these years, cherry picking his connections too. You know, he's got pure quality on his channel. Oh, action in the streets there. Somebody was having too much fun or not enough? There's that gift shop I keep talking about. SkyWheel is magnificent. Timbits, yeah. That's the world famous Tim Hortons. Timbits are donut holes, as some people would call them. But those are like, they're like potato chips. They're like unbelievably addicting, everybody says now, for the last 20 years. I don't know if that's even a word. But that's one of those things where you could buy any amount and not, you'd have to finish them all. They sell them in like 10s, 20s, and 80s. 10 is bad enough. You know that eating 10 of those things makes up more than a regular donut. And then here's where we get even worse. Between the ice cream and the candy apples and the fudge and the popcorn and pretzels. Kristen's just gonna make her own pretzels now. She made them this weekend. They were perfect. And then she did exactly what she said she was gonna do and made homemade pizza and used that dough as the crust.
Oh yeah, you didn't bring it on.
Arcade is something else too. My true aspiration is to someday get a gaming lounge open with, a few arcade machines and this and that. There is tons and tons and tons to do here. Hardly going to be able to walk in a few weeks, though, the way the crowds are going to come through here, especially on days like this, or warmer. Pretzel party, yeah. Almost good. Takes a handful of work, too. Kristen was at that for hours, right? Because I forget the whole procedure, but it's got a rest and everything. There's that wax museum. I always point this out at least for a second, but we went through here for a live stream.
Then come inside, where it is.
We had a special guest host too. Oh, Honk Tube frozen solid, really? Still? It was 21 down here today. Inside the border. Open a pretzel shop, yeah. It's not the worst idea. Kristen watches all the cooking shows. I'll watch some of them, but she watches a lot of those reality TV cooking shows. And I don't know if anybody's done pretzels as a food truck. It wouldn't surprise me. There's tons you could do with them, obviously, but they did a whole skit on that in The Office. My favorite TV show probably of all time. Here's a question for everyone. How many times do you have to watch an entire series from beginning to end to call it your favorite? Because except for an episode here or there, I for sure have watched that 7 times. It gets funnier the 4th time around when you realize that Creed Bratton is a real person playing himself in the show. He was a member of the Grassroots, a band, and it changes the whole thing. Star Trek is something else. I enjoy Star Trek as much as anybody, like that enjoys it, let's say. but I haven't sat and watched it. I've thought about it many times, putting it in like the sleep category. I always fall asleep to space movies and the Facebook stuff and the Steve Jobs stuff. For some reason, social networks and computers seem to put me to sleep, even though I love them. How many times I talk about flyers all over the ground, and now there's piles. That's a beautiful looking skyline over there. We'll take a second to say hello to our American friends over there. Border at the end of the Rainbow Bridge. I was wondering about Star Wars. What happened to that after COVID? We just don't make Star Wars movies anymore? Actually, you know, my sister mentioned the idea of doing a coffee shop. Can you do coffee and pretzels? I think you could. We'll do a bakery where we're up at 3 in the morning every day making pretzels. The lights are so bright on the falls. I see how it looks on the screen. It looks great. They do all kinds of things with those lights too. New York gal, Florida heart, good to see you in the house. I have a feeling the next time I meet up with Just Jason Keto, I'm going to be complaining about my weight. And he's going to be like, well, dude, all you do is talk about food. I've seen your streams. This area is always busy. Sometimes we cut signal here, and I'm convinced it's because so many people are on their phones. And I mentioned it the other day, but it's not like 5 years ago or before COVID when people would just be taking pictures and posting them later. People go live now, right? Just for a second. Doesn't matter if it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I thought Twitter was going to start again. X, I should call it, but you know what I mean. They have the code from Periscope. They tried it. Elon Musk went live at least once, but probably more than that. And they were talking about building it in, but as far as I know, it's not there yet. And see if the zip line's running right now or not. I don't know if they keep them open this late at this time of year or just on weekends. We'll see in a second, I guess. Oh, did they block that so we can't walk? Or they don't want us to? They must be still working on it. Well, maybe I'm wrong. This is where I filmed the fireworks from, so for anybody that does make it here, this is the area. That's a little secret we learned there too, eh? We lost signal around the zipline tower. Maybe I should go around it from now on. There's your American colors. And then they put the Canadian colors on the Canadian Falls. Or Horseshoe Falls. They got a few of these street lamps around here, and then it gets dark for a while. Yeah, we did Niagara on the Lake, I don't know how many times, for sure once, where we did the horse carriage thing, you know, where they drive you around. We did the short one. They'll take you for an hour. I think it was like $200 or $300, something like that, at the time. So I don't even know what it is now. But we just went for like 15 minutes in the middle of a stream. Niagara on the Lake is one of those towns where all of the buildings, Kristen knows better than me if they were built between the end of the 1700s into the 1800s or whatever, and then they keep it looking quaint and nice. It's just as clean and beautiful as Niagara Falls in its own way, and then there's all boutique shops, and that's where you can get specialty pretzel type things and everything else. But yeah, I think it was the Sunday when she was here, whatever it was, the third morning she was here, Kristen and Kira took her to Niagara on the Lake. It's nice that, you know, we all do YouTube, like, and obviously can stream, but I'm really just out for a walk. So why wouldn't you come here if you were going to go for a walk? It is far less than 20 minutes driveway to driveway. I think it's barely over 10, especially at times like this when there's no traffic. There's no traffic in Niagara anyway, but especially now. Yeah, the drive is nice too, between all the wineries, a couple farms, past an airport, and a lot of specialty shops, right? I don't know if you've driven by, Jason, that chocolate shop that's there. And then there's, heading into town, Picard's is a place that's popular around here where they do, I don't know how you describe it. The snacks that they have are specially packaged, but they've got like potato chip covered peanuts and of course chocolate almonds and stuff, and then they've got like dusted Turkish delight surprise things or whatever they're called. But there's lots of stuff like that. One of the record stores I was shopping at is up there too. No record store in Niagara Falls. The two that I was going to around here, Niagara on the Lake and St. Catharines. But I really laid off of that. I'm still buying records, but 1 or 2 a year. Started getting to be a very expensive habit again. And my family tops me up for Christmas and birthdays and stuff like that. See what I mean about that mist too? It's just almost going straight up. That's how you tell where what is happening for wind here. So this looks much different now too. The rocks and everything down there, because most of that snow and ice is gone, if not all. Probably all gone by now. The water's so powerful. The Fam Adventures, good to see you in the house. Oh, Gretzky's Winery down here. Yeah, that would make sense. He's got a restaurant in Toronto too. That guy pulled a great maneuver, or his team did. They had a street. I forgot what it used to be called, if it was just Peter Street all the way, or if it changed into something else. And he had it renamed to Blue Jays Way because it literally comes out of the ramp when you leave the stadium where the Toronto Blue Jays play. It used to be called the Sky Dome, but they've just named it, I don't know who's got it now, Rogers Center. Anyway, he had the street renamed to Blue Jays Way so that his restaurant could be number 99. That's a serious move. Yeah, the Fam Adventures, I was happy to catch you today. I've been lucky for the last many months to be on YouTube a lot more. I'm on almost every day. I still got to work on the computer, but I'm there. So I usually have at least a few windows open with a few things going. Yeah, I haven't done the winery thing either. We went to a couple of breweries, I think, with Kristen. She has run charity events at one place here that's pretty big. They do live music and everything else. A friend of mine apparently has family that owns another new place around here called Blackburn or something like that. And we went there to try that out. But I haven't been wine tasting, as they say, which is a big, big thing around here. There will be tulips, but I don't think they've started, I don't know, do you call it sprouting? I don't think they've done that yet. Just a little bit of whatever these yellow things are. But they've planted a lot. I understand tulips probably don't need to be planted. They just regrow every year or whatever it is, right? But Niagara Falls will have plenty of I don't know, gardenscapes and things like that. This is a huge park area. You can see this is enormous. This goes all the way down to the edge of the falls almost. And then you see how far it keeps extending. So you got like, and it goes up over across the street there. You can see that. So there's, you know, families with their blankets and coolers and picnic baskets and every other thing out here too. At least on the weekends. Plenty of these areas with the view. You guys can tell me what you call these two. What words are escaping me today? The binocular type things. Put a $2 coin in there and then you can see that. The lights change once in a while, like every probably 15 minutes or something. HK57, good to see you in the house. Henry Leslie, Vermont, good to have you here. Two pineapples, there he is. $2 coin. Yeah, our American friends had come here with a American $5 bill. They'd get two $2 coins, a dollar coin, and they'd still have enough left over for almost another $1. They threatened a $5 coin when I was a young lad, still in high school, but I don't think they're going to bother with that now. If you haven't done it already, they're closing in on the end of cash. It only occurred to me recently when we were talking about the Great Reset back in the days of the Freedom Convoy and all that, that we're here now. That's what crypto is. So I'm a huge fan of crypto, but now that they're all getting involved, the banks and everybody, it's very clear. The reason why, my biggest argument or feature that I use when I talk about it now is if you want to In Canada, we use something called email transfer. We can email transfer each other money, or we can text it to each other. Click the link and you get the money, right? Goes into your bank account and they're all set up for that. We've been using it for years. But we have limits. Most people have a limit. They can only send 3,000 a day or 5,000. I've heard of a few people with 10 or 12,000. But if at 4 in the morning you want to send somebody $28,000, you can with crypto. Cross borders, instant or close to it. We'll see. I've been a huge fan of cash up until now, but I just haven't had any in months and months and months. I find myself clinging to my last $20 bill. Even if I had, last time I had cash, I put in a Bitcoin ATM anyway. Gave it all back. I saw somebody at the grocery store with cash. Was that today, Kristen, or yesterday? We had somebody in front of us who's using cash, and I was thinking to myself, wow, look at that. Oh, look at this. What, somebody got is that a laser or a drone? Oh, a drone might get somebody in trouble. I don't know the truth about that. Thought I saw a little red light, look like a laser light on the falls. Oh, there it is. Or is that a drone the way it's flying? I don't know if you could see that. I'm assuming it's a laser light and it's just hitting the mist. Kristen and I were making wine when in a roundabout sort of way. I was doing it with a few friends, but we were making homemade wine when I first moved here with her, and we called it mist with a Y because I'm clever like that. Checkbook. One of the biggest stresses when I think about some of the financial things I have to look after, not for myself, but if I gotta be helpful to somebody, is should we order checks? We don't need 50 of them. Can we just use the downloadable form? I've had too many checkbook that never got used in my life. I keep registering companies. I think I've done it 5 times now. I was right on that when I was 19 or 20 years old. Here in Canada, you just open a sole proprietorship. Costs today $80 or something, and you just download the license. Yeah, they charge us a fortune. It's like a monopoly thing they've got going on here. One company, Davis and Henderson, I think it's called, does the checks, and you have to get them from them. You have to get at least, I think it's 50, but could be much more. Two Pineapples is in Hawaii, so I'm assuming that's the most expensive state, except maybe Alaska. You guys will have to fight that out between you. I'd be interested to know. It is a barbaric ritual. And this is what I'm talking about. This is where crypto has no choice but to win. Because you don't even have to know what you're doing. As long as one person knows a little bit, you're scanning a QR code. to send money to somebody. You can send hundreds of thousands of dollars. But there's nobody to call when it doesn't work either and you make a mistake. So that's something to think about. I've been lucky. I have dipped my toe in many different ponds when it comes to the idea of crypto now over the years. And it's incredible the things you could do and the ways you can make money legitimately and everything else. But I haven't yet lost money making a mistake like that, like an error, you know? Thank goodness, because I know a lot of people have. You can see how far we've traveled when I look back over to the wheel. That very bright light is the light that's shining on the falls, of course. Yeah, it's got to be something else over there. You'll find things like this all over the place in Niagara Falls. Little tidbits of history. So Table Rock refers to this area of the falls. I showed this the other day. This is like, you don't want to play around on the railings. We saw a kid the other day when I was streaming, literally got right up on these rocks. And he was, if you look at this, I'm actually right at the spot. He was on one of the rocks where they've got that little, I don't know, cliff or whatever you want to call it. So he wasn't gonna fall, but you know, anything could happen. Very dangerous stuff, but you wouldn't want to play around here. And this plaque that they've got, this plate here, talks about that. I'll read it off for a second. This is the site of the historic landmark Table Rock, a shelf of bare rock, 61 meters, 200 feet long, 18.3 meters or 60 feet wide. One part of the crest of the Horseshoe Falls. It was left isolated when the falls receded. Rock falls in 1818, 28, 29, 50, and 34. That makes sense, 1850 and 1934. Reduced its size, and the remaining overhang was blasted off for safety reasons in 1935. And then they filmed Superman 2 here. They're still doing lots of work here. Look at this. They just took out the brick and put asphalt here. I cannot believe it. Unless that's meant as temporary. See this? It used to all be brick. I don't want to be the guy that's got to relay that and try to level it every year and everything else. Interlock is just awful work. And that is not just because I'm lazy. That is like, if you can imagine, you get on the floor, you got to dig things out, these things out with hammers and screwdrivers and everything without damaging them. Then put them in piles. But how high can the pile get before you're reaching over it? Oh goodness. I've done more than my share. Don't expect to be doing that anymore. You got to hand it to anybody who can and does. If you ever see the videos of Thailand walking up and down Beach Road, they got all interlocked there, and they just leave piles of it everywhere, unfinished. We'll take one more look at the falls here and then wrap things up. So thank you everybody for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. It makes the time go by great for me when you're keeping me company like this. But I thought we'd come and have a look at a night view here. It's a perfect opportunity. It really is a beautiful city. I love it here.